Шоколад, блин. Задумала, блин. Мне нужен шоколад. Мне нужен шоколад. Я тоже хочу шоколад.
The tennis GOAT debate, Djokovic versus Nadal. The debate over who the greatest tennis player of all time is has been raging for years, with three legendary names always at the forefront: Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. While Novak Djokovic may have more Grand Slam titles to his name, the conversation about the GOAT is far from over. But now, Toni Nadal, uncle and former coach of Rafael Nadal, has added fuel to the fire by picking his side in the debate, and the answer might surprise some people. Let's dive into his reasoning and what this means for the ongoing GOAT debate. Toni Nadal recently gave an interview to Euronews where he shared his thoughts on the ever-controversial GOAT discussion. According to Toni, the title of best player belongs to Novak Djokovic. Why? Because Djokovic has won more titles than anyone else. But Toni's take isn't as straightforward as it might seem. While he acknowledges Djokovic's achievements, he also makes the case that if it weren't for Rafael's injuries, the debate could have gone differently. First, let's address the numbers that Toni Nadal specifically points out. Novak Djokovic now holds 24 Grand Slam titles, making him the all-time leader in the men's game. Djokovic solidified this lead with his Olympic gold medal win earlier this year at the Paris Olympics. And while 2024 has seen rising stars like Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz take some of the major titles, Djokovic's dominance over the last decade is undeniable. Toni Nadal acknowledges this, stating clearly that Djokovic won more titles than the others. And when it comes to raw numbers, he's right. Djokovic not only has the Grand Slam record, but he also holds more Masters 1,000 titles than any other player, and his consistency across surfaces has been unparalleled. What could have been? The case of Rafa's injuries. Toni Nadal also opened up about what might have been if injuries hadn't plagued his nephew's career. He made it clear in the interview that Rafael Nadal, without his long history of injuries, might have surpassed Djokovic in terms of major titles. Toni said, "Who could be the best without injuries? My nephew." This statement adds a layer of nuance to the debate, suggesting that while Djokovic has the most titles, circumstances like injuries have prevented Nadal from competing at full strength throughout his career. So, what if Rafa had been injury-free? Indeed, Rafael Nadal's injuries have impacted his ability to stay on the court and compete at his best, especially in recent years. The toll on his body became particularly apparent during the 2024 season, with many believing this year's Laver Cup will be his last assignment, just as Roger Federer did in 2022. However, recent reports state that he has pulled out from the event while releasing a statement saying, "This is a team competition, and to really support Team Europe, I need to do what's best for them. And at this moment, there are other players who can help the team deliver the win." But if we look beyond these setbacks, Nadal has still managed to capture an incredible 22 Grand Slam titles and numerous other records, especially on clay. Federer, the natural talent. While Toni Nadal acknowledges Djokovic is the best based on titles, he doesn't hesitate to mention that, in his view, Roger Federer played the game better than anyone. Toni's exact words were, "Who played better? Federer." This aligns with the widespread belief that Federer brought an elegance and grace to tennis that no one else has matched. His effortless style and natural talent were often compared to an art form, something that many fans believe sets him apart. Federer's artistry on the court. Toni even compared Federer to football legend Lionel Messi, suggesting that both athletes had an innate talent, but also worked extremely hard to achieve greatness. This comparison highlights the idea that GOAT status isn't just about how many titles you win, but also about how you change the game and leave a lasting impact. A debate that won't end. Despite Toni Nadal's clear endorsement of Djokovic as the best in terms of titles, he has also sparked more conversation about the GOAT debate. Fans of Federer and Nadal are quick to argue that greatness isn't just about winning, it's about legacy, impact, and popularity. As former British #1 Tim Henman put it, Federer remains the most popular tennis player to ever grace the court, and for many that counts for something. Legacy versus titles, the GOAT debate. Djokovic's fan base, on the other hand, is fiercely loyal and has reacted with hostility to Toni Nadal's comments. They believe that Djokovic's consistency and ability to win across all surfaces sets him apart, and that his achievements should place him at the top of the GOAT list without question. What's next for the GOAT debate? As Nadal's career nears its end, and Djokovic's dominance begins to show cracks, especially after a challenging 2024 season with injuries of his own, the GOAT debate is far from over. Younger players like Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are rising quickly, quickly and could eventually challenge some of the records set by Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal. So, who is the GOAT? According to Toni Nadal, Djokovic takes the crown for his title haul, but Federer played the game more beautifully, and Nadal could have been even greater without his injuries. A sentiment most of the fans agree with. The debate will, however, continue, but one thing is for sure, these three players have forever changed the sport of tennis. Who do you think is the greatest of all time? Let us know in the comments below.